What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Jump. Dima, story time music! Guys, you know that Black America is a pretty interesting place. There's Detroit, there's Cleveland, there's Atlanta, there's Jackson, Mississippi. But then again, there's New Orleans. Shout out to Cash Money Records and No Limit. New Orleans is a very interesting city in Black America. It's very influential in that part of the world. And while New Orleans has a lot of good things going for it in its history, New Orleans has a lot of bad things going for it also. Like crime! Can I get the gunshots, please? Yeah. New Orleans is historically a bad city in many parts of the wards there. Corruption amongst its officials. There's that flood that happened there, the Hurricane Katrina. But then what makes it worse is, the failure to do right by the general public. And 25-year-old Precious Stevens is who we're talking about right now. Now, this is during the pandemic, okay? You probably have an understaffed force, and she's a 911 dispatcher, all right? So imagine, phone ring sound playing, Diva. Hello? Yes, somebody's really whooping my ass right now. Oh my God, they're shooting gunshots. They're shooting. And then dial tone, hang up please. Yeah, imagine that. You call in, you need help, and they're hanging up on your ass. That is what Precious Stevens has been doing. And oh, by the way, she's a sister. Now, before I get into this, I want to say this. I've experienced a lot of good customer service from Black people who work in those positions, whether they be Black men or Black women, right? There are a lot of sisters, like for example, the other day I called into Fidelity. I checked on some things. I called into Bank of America. I've talked to Black women on the phone there. I get Black women on average. They have good customer service, typically. Just like anybody working in the customer service field. It's not just that bad thing. But here's what happens there. When you have something like this go on, and a sister like this gets fired for doing this, can we say that we're not shocked? All right? In the conglomerate of all of this, it points to the problem that a lot of us have in Black America, in Black cities, in Black neighborhoods. See, I think if she's in a white if she's in a white parish or county, all right, maybe she isn't doing this. She's in Beverly Hills. She ain't doing this. But see, when we are in our own Black cities as African Americans, when we are in our own Black communities as African Americans, this is the kind of shit that can happen. All right? We start doing things with our group that we wouldn't do in other groups. And I'll be honest, and this is something I noticed even in Africa, and I know there's different situations for why it may be, but you just go to your local African restaurant, go to your normal Black community restaurant. Here comes the waitress, slide and dragging their feet to your table. Day music. What you want? Yeah, I have some cornbread and chicken and greens. That'll be $40. I mean, just rude, right? And sometimes you experience that customer service problem in general, but more or less it happens in Black-owned establishments. And see, the thing is, Precious Stevens, not only are you doing this buffoonery in a Black city like New Orleans, this is a harm to the general public. And you want to hang up on people because you're having a bad day, And I want to say this, women, they have go through some emotional things, stuff like that, periods and things like that. So, but they still can deal with that and typically do a good job. I mean, I went to healthcare facilities. I've had women doctors and things like that. I've never had a bad experience. But here's what happens. Okay. I noticed that a lot of times women are more prone to, if they're having a bad day or bad situations going on in their life, in my honest opinion, other people are more likely to feel the wrath of sisters if they're having a bad experience or something going on in their life. It's typically more able to be translated to other people. So I think that's maybe the woman's ability to handle stress. Here's the reality, right? Just because something is going on in your life, it doesn't give you the right to mistreat people. Okay? And this is something that we got to talk about in the Black community, because it's more forgivable if sisters in the Black community, if something's going wrong with them, it's like, okay, well, I can easily translate my frustration that I'm having with myself or with others in my personal life to the normal public. And it's totally fine, right? Like, I can hang up on people because, you know what? I feel bad today, so therefore, I'm hanging up on everybody, you know? Instead of me just quitting or asking for time off, no, let me take out my frustrations on other people. This happens a lot in the Black community, right? Especially with women. You know, we're gonna be honest. Women are more likely in the Black community, I feel, to, if they're having frustrations, then other people are more likely to see it. But here's where maturity has to come in. This comes from both Black men and Black women. It's not our responsibility to take our actions out on people who haven't done nothing to us, okay? And that's even like me being on YouTube. A lot of times I don't feel like doing YouTube. I have personal issues or things going on in my life, stuff like that. I don't feel like making videos, but it doesn't come out of my content. I have to still come in, perform, and do my job. If I don't want to do my job or what I'm supposed to do, then I don't need to make the goddamn videos, right? And that's the problem with her. Instead of you putting the general public at risk because you have a personal issue, I want to hang up on them. So you got all the way up, dressed in to go to work, and you're going to hang up on people. Now you're on the run. I hope they catch your ass. To God's honest truth, I do. Because what about the people that need help, that are calling in to the 911 dispatch office, people of all races and ethnicities, but primarily Black people? You're putting in harm's way because they can't get help. They're experiencing an emergency. So let's hang up on them. When we have a cardiac arrest or anything happening, this is what needs to happen. Again, we're dealing with immature people sometimes in the Black community, in certain areas. All right, we are, in Black areas, and Black people don't deserve that. The general public don't deserve that. And this is an individual case that I'm not stereotyping, because again, I want to go back to this. Despite the stereotypes, it's my opinion that usually, in most situations, Black people who work customer service jobs do a good job. But here's the exception. Here's the exception. And the stereotype is going to be Black women have bad attitudes when they work for places, when in general, you can experience that, and I have experienced that, but it's not always the case. But see, this is what adds on to that stereotype. It's just like saying that, in most customer service situations, if you go and you're dealing with Black women, that in the American world, the customer service is on par with anybody else. I've worked in call centers, but immaturity rears its ugly head today. But guys, what do you think? I mean, have you had problems in the customer service with people in our community? Let me know. And as you know, the buffoonery remains an all-time high. Check out my Black Men Perf t-shirts. I'm out. Peace.